What's going on, everybody? My name's Corey. Welcome back to another BREW-BRG episode. Sorry, I'm watching myself over here. Sorry. Anytime you see me on like these face cam things, if I look this way, I'm watching the monitor to see what I look like because I'm vain and I need to look cool. Today, I'm joined by one of my best friends in the Magic sphere, content-wise, otherwise. Super excited to finally get him here. My buddy Trentyn, known probably more for CEDH. He does some work with the Sylvan Scholars, so you can check him out over there. He guests a lot. He guests. That sounds right. He guests a lot on other people's streams. You can kind of see him all over the place. So I'm really excited to finally get him on a BREW-BRG episode. We've been trying to work that out for a while now, so we finally got him here. Today we're working on Aragorn the Uniter. I had to think about that for a second because it's been like a week since we've done this. But anyway, Aragorn the Uniter. Here it is. With an interesting twist. I won't say anything. Let's just dive right into it so you can take a look at it. Let's go. Looking good, buddy. Blah, blah, blah. Crack a joke. Quick cut. Zoom into my face real close. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to BREW-BRG. It was a very smooth transition, if I do say so myself. We're here with my good buddy, Trentyn. Very excited, Trentyn, to have you on the show finally.
Hell yeah.
This was super fun to put together. I'm going to let you talk about what we built and everything really quick. But before we do, I'm trying really hard to stop saying a lot, and I'm very conscious of when I do it now. And I just heard it, and I was like, oh, fuck. But anyway, let's, oh, fuck. Oh, God. Now I'm just going to keep doing it. Anyway, Trentyn, why don't you let everyone know who you are? I know we did it on stream already a few times, but if you want to, once again, let everyone know who you are, what you do in the Magic community, and where they can find you. If you want them to find you. It's up to you, I guess.
Sure.
You're the owner of your own domain here. So why don't you let everyone know who you are, what you do.
Yeah. I'm Trentyn. Hey, look, I just did it too.
Now you're going to be hearing it.
Now, yeah, exactly. Now I'm going to be hearing
everything. I ruined it.
I go by Trentyn907 on Twitter. You can find me there if you really want. I mostly talk about EDH, CEDH, and a little bit of Pioneer. Lately, I've been talking a lot about Dan. That stupid format is so much fun. But, damn it, Corey.
I'm going to put a little counter in the corner of the screen. It's like the
just
counter.
Every time.
The bing, bing. I'm not going to do that. Don't worry.
It's so hard because, it's just a natural, segue into, whatever you want to say. Anyway,
it's so it's so easy to just okay, I have my thought. Next thought. Got it. Right.
Yeah. So CEDH, EDH, Pioneer. I used to, or not used to. We've been a little bit of a break, but there's a CEDH Twitch channel run by our good friend Bear Claymore, where we try and bring new people into the format, show them what it's about. We're called Sylvan Scholars. You can check us out. Both. Damn it. Both on Twitter and on Twitch if you really want.
I ruined everything.
It ruins everything. Anyway, today, do you want to say who we built? Or?
No, that was my next question. So the lead into the next part of this is who we built and why we built this commander.
Cool. Yeah, so we built Aragorn the Uniter.
You're good. You're good. We're good. We're moving past it. We're moving past it.
So we built Aragorn the Uniter. Brand new card. Lord of the Rings just came out, or just pre-release still technically. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's all an enigma to me. But this is a really cool commander. You can build it a bajillion different ways. We decided, or I guess I decided, and then told Corey this is how we're doing it.
Yep.
That we're going to build it as a 2-color deck. So the mana base is 4 colors because we still want to be able to cast our commander. But everything else, all the cards in the deck, they are either blue, white, or a combination of the two. So a bunch of Azorius cards, bunch of cards that don't see a ton of play anymore. I was telling Corey, this is one of the reasons I wanted to build this deck was I hate 4-color piles. I think they just kind of turn into good stuff decks, and I wanted to restrict what we were doing and kind of narrow down, pick a lane and stick to it. So we built basically blue-white Aragorn, and it's a tokens. It's basically a tokens deck, and the scry is just there as being able to just dig through the deck for the answers that we want every time we need it.
Yep. So why don't you read what Aragorn does? Let's read the card itself.
The paragraph of text that is Aragorn the Uniter. So Aragorn the Uniter is a 5/5 legendary human noble that costs red, green, white, and blue. He says, whenever you cast a white spell, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. Whenever you cast a blue spell, scry 2. Whenever you cast a red spell, Aragorn the Uniter deals 3 damage to target opponent. And whenever you cast a green spell, target creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn.
Cool.
So we decided, or again, I decided to build around just generating tokens. This is basically like a mono white tokens deck with blue to support. And I think it's pretty neat. I'm really excited to play it.
I'm excited to see it played. It looks super fun. So okay, cool. So how is this deck? So we went over what the deck is. We went over the theming. How are we trying to win with it? What's the win con?
We are just trying to smack people in the face with soldiers as frequently as possible. There is a very small support package for a quote unquote, I won't call it a Voltron sub-theme because that's not the goal of the deck, but there are a couple cards in there that support making a creature like Aragorn, who's a 5/5, big enough to be lethal to our opponents in just a couple of hits. So you'll see Steel of the Godhead, I think, is the primary one.
Yep.
But yeah, for the most part, we're just a tokens deck. We're trying to go wider than everybody else, and with White's anthems that it's been getting, especially recently, the last 2-3 years, we're just gonna make all those 1/1s into 2/2s, into 3/3s, into 5/5s, and we're just gonna smack everybody at the table.
Yep. We just want to be aggressive with creature tokens and anthems and things like, I guess another win con you have in here is Strixhaven Stadium.
That's true. So. Yeah. So that card, that card's been a lot of fun. I've been playing it. I've played it in 2 different decks now. I've killed people with it, and
it's easy. It's easy because
it's surprisingly easy. Yeah.
People forget that it's there sometimes, and they think it's just another mana rock. And you're like, okay, cool. I'll swing with 7 creatures, and then I'll take off 10 point counters, and then someone's like, oh no, wait, what?
Yep.
And then you're
and you get to choose. You get to choose who dies to it.
Well, it's whoever you hit with.
Well, but like if you hit multiple people, you get to choose which one of them. If you're like, well, you're the problem, and if you let a 3/3 by, that's
like, this is it.
That's on you.
You're done. You're dead. You're dead, kid. All right, cool. So next up, this is the point of the video where we go over the top 5 cards. So if someone came up to you on the street and they're like, hey, Trentyn, I saw you build this super awesome Aragorn deck on that TCG Guy stream. Big fan.
Hell yeah. I would say I'm also a big fan of that TCG Guy.
You stop that. But someone comes up to you, they say, hey, I saw you build a super cool Aragorn deck. If there's 5 cards that you had to pick to show off what the deck is trying to do, what are those 5 cards?
Yeah, so I thought about this. It took a few minutes to like really wrap my head around like what exactly the deck wants to do, right? The big one, the first one that comes to mind is Inspiring Leader. Thank you, Corey, for that one. It's a 3 mana. I think it's an uncommon. It's from Baldur's Gate. It's an enchantment. It's technically a background, but in this we don't care because all it says is commander creatures you own have creature tokens you control get +2/+2. So if we have Aragorn on board and we cast this, Aragorn's going to trigger, make us a 1/1, but then Inspiring Leader hits the field, and now that 1/1's a 3/3.
Yep.
That's kind of like that just showcases what the deck's trying to do. We're trying to cast anthems and, support spells, create tokens, and make those tokens bigger. I think Inspiring Leader is like the perfect way to showcase that.
Yeah. And the thing, really quick to kind of like bring that home a little bit is, and I said this during the stream, was that I was looking through the creatures and I'm like, man, we don't have a ton of creatures that make humans. Now, like hearing what you just said about like casting the spell, it automatically is like now an anthem for like you're making the creature and then it becomes the anthem for the creature. With Aragorn out, every white card is a token creator. Like every white card is a card that makes you tokens.
Yep.
Which is insane because, like you said, every card in the deck is either white or blue-white.
Yep.
There's I think there's like 5 blue cards, if that. There's like I probably counted like 1, 2, 3. There's 3.
Yeah, there are 5.
There's 4 or 5. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because Ominous Seas. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we have a shell of. I mean, it's basically we'll call it 55-ish cards because we 37 lands, 10 mana rocks. So we have 50 plus cards that are all spells, and all of those spells are, or all except for 5, are white or have white in them.
Yep.
So almost every spell we cast after we land an Aragorn is going to create us a 1/1 human soldier.
It's pretty
Like,
good.
it's free value, baby.
It's
like
pretty good. All right.
after
next card.
that, my second pick for the deck would be it's a pet card of mine from like right when I first started getting into Magic. It's Captain of the Watch, which is probably, it's one of our curve toppers, higher up there on our mana curve. She's a 6 mana human soldier, 3/3 with vigilance, and other soldier creature tokens you control, or soldier creatures, not tokens, sorry, but soldier creatures you control have 1/1 and vigilance, and then when she enters the battlefield, she also creates 3 1/1 soldiers.
Yep.
So again, Aragorn on board, we cast this, we create a 1/1 human soldier off of Aragorn. She enters the battlefield, she creates 3. She pumps them by 1, she gives them vigilance. Like, you just, like a 6 mana, you just put 4 bodies on the board, and this, you know, there are 2 2s and a 3/3. Like, you put 11 power on board for 6 mana is pretty good. I mean, that's better than the average green creature these days.
Definitely.
After that, I would say Aven Windguide, probably one of my favorite token synergy pieces in the deck. It's just a 4 mana bird wizard that gives all of our creature tokens flying, and I think they also grant vigilance.
It does.
Yep. Flying and vigilance. Super simple. We're going to cast this after Aragorn, ideally. Create it again. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but we're going to create a soldier. But this one's also blue, so we're going to scry 2 as well. So we're going to get a little bit of card selection out of the deal. Now all of our tokens have flying and vigilance. We have evasion. We have protection because we're not tapping out anymore. We're just going to, we can swing out with, you know, what's the word? Ambiguity? Ambiguity? I don't know what the word is. There's a word.
Ambiguity?
Yeah, sure. We're just going to swing out because we don't care.
We're going to swing out with reckless abandon.
Yeah, there we go with that.
And the good thing with Aven Windguide is it has Embalm too. So even after it's dead, it can come back as a token.
Yeah, which is super messed up, but super sweet.
Right.
Next on the list, I was torn between, there's a new card and a slightly older card. We're going to go with the older card first. This one, I still think is being criminally underplayed in Commander specifically. It came in a pre-con. It's not seeing enough play. It's Midnight Pathlighter, which is a super messed up Magic card. Corey and I have both been killed by it. At least I know I have, again, with Danny.
Yep,
Danny's played
same.
it against us, yep. It says creatures you control can't be blocked except by legendary creatures, and whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you venture into the dungeon. That is slightly less important, that second part, but it is card advantage. It's like, it's a little bit of everything. If we hit 3 players with tokens, we venture 3 times. Like, you get to, you know, depending on which dungeon you go into, you can scry, make a treasure, deal a damage, make a token. It doesn't matter. You can do it all.
Yep.
But the important part, creatures not being able to be blocked except by legendary creatures. Granted, nowadays there are so many legendaries that every deck incidentally has, you know, a handful of legends. But the fact that the majority of our army is going to be only blockable by the minority of our opponent's decks, that's super key.
Yep.
And then the last card, this one's super sweet. Flock Chaser Phantom.
Yeah.
This thing is ridiculous. It's a brand new card from one of the, I think it's March of the Machines precons.
Yep.
Yep.
The
it's a 5/5.
The just Convoke one.
Yeah, it's a 5/5 spirit with Convoke that says it's flying vigilance, and whenever it attacks, the next spell you cast this turn has Convoke. It's a blue-white card, so it's gonna, same thing. It's gonna trigger Aragorn. We're gonna make a token. We're gonna scry 2, and then when that thing attacks, anything we cast afterwards, we can tap our tokens to help cast. Like, I think that's a really cool, like, it's a neat piece between a card advantage / mana advantage card.
Yep.
And I think if you get a board with even like 4 or 5, you know, tokens, if you give them vigilance, you just attack. And then if people don't block, even if people do block, you lose 1 or 2 tokens. But now the next spell you cast basically says you can, it costs 4 or 5 less mana to cast because all of your stuff has vigilance. That's super sweet. And being able to curve into more aggressive threats like Angel of the Ruins or Sharding Sphinx earlier than you normally would be able to, I think is really important. And because we chose to do this as like a 2-color deck, we have foregone the green half of or the green portion. So we're not running a bunch of rampant growths. We're not running a bunch of ramp spells. So a lot of our curve topping cards we have to cheat in somehow, or hopefully land this Flock Chaser Phantom, which I saw that and I was like, I mean, it has Convoke and we're a tokens deck, so this is, and it gives the next spell we cast Convoke. This is super sweet. We want to cast a Storm Herd for basically free. Let's freaking go.
I think that's a great addition to this deck.
That card is so nuts. I'm super excited to see how it works out.
Very cool. All right, awesome. Well, those are 5. That was 5, right? We hit 5.
Yep, that was 5.
Bam. Time flies when you're enjoying yourself.
Right.
This is great. Cool. Awesome. So yeah, that's basically the deck. That's Aragorn. Aragorn. I don't know how to pronounce these fucking names.
Aragorn was the dragon.
Cool. Any final words on the deck before we get going? Any other tips or tricks you think you want to talk about, or have we kind of covered everything here?
I think we covered most of it. I would say the thing to be careful of with the current deck list that I'm sure Corey will link below is the mana base is going to be a little wonky because the vast majority of our spells are blue-white, but the mana base is still built for a 4-color deck but you need to be able to cast Aragorn. So I would say with this deck, you'll want to lean a little bit on, there's some cards that cycle themselves away for plane cycling or island cycling. So lean on those. Don't be afraid to play your loyal Warhound when you need to go grab a plains or whatever. But other than that,
a lot of the mana rocks either cast for the 2 colors we have or will be able to make you be able to tap for the colors you need.
Yep. Yeah. The only talisman we're not running is the green-red one, and that was just because of that's the restriction I put in for the deck was that all of our mana rocks, we don't care about the ones that can't tap for either white or blue, and that leaves the Gruul talisman off of the list.
Yep. Makes sense. Very cool, man. Well, I'm very excited to see this deck play off. Let's turn into Mario there for a second. No, I'm super excited to see this deck played because we talked about it on the stream that I've really been enjoying kind of building more restricted themed decks lately.
Yeah.
So, seeing this card that people are going to clearly shove in, like you said, kind of just shove in 4-color good stuff, and we're going to see that deck over and over and over and over and over again. Everyone's going to have it's going to be the next Kenrith where it's like, oh, it's Aragorn. Okay, cool. So I expect to see a bunch of Seedborn muses and
you'll see a bunch of Smothering Tides and a bunch of Rhystic Studies, which look, power to you. Those are the kinds of cards personally, as someone who I play CEDH, I love CEDH, but those cards, I mean, Smothering Tide not so much, but it's just it almost feels too easy. If you were building the 4-color version of this deck, Smothering Tithe is probably perfect because you're gonna need all of the colored pips. But if you're just splashing a Smothering Tithe because it's a white card in a 4-color deck, I don't feel like we need it in this deck. If we were to play 3-color dot deck, it'd be a different story. But
I
that's
think
not how we're playing it.
If I were to build this, it would be the 4 colors, but I would make it so every card, not some of it, every card would have to be 2 or more.
Yeah, it has
colors.
to have at least 2 colors. At least. Which, and if that's the case, I think Smothering Tithe is obviously a perfectly acceptable ad. I don't like playing it. I don't like playing against it. It's one of those things that I'll always pay for it until the first person who doesn't, and then I'm like, well, this person's just gonna have 8 million mana by the time the game's over, and
it's funny.
It's kind of like it's like Rhystic Study. I'll pay my taxes until the first person who doesn't, and I'm like,
and then we riot, and then we overthrow the government. I mean, we overthrow the Rhystic Study player. Got it. What was it? Oh, I haven't seen. We kind of go off on a tangent here, but that's not. I haven't seen not even Rhystic Study. Excuse me. Smothering Tide played a lot lately. I stream every 2 days a week. I think the last time I saw Smothering Tide was months ago, which I mean, maybe it's just perchance the decks that I'm playing against, but
Right.
It's not a card I've seen a lot recently, so I mean, who knows?
I think it's a card that kind of has given itself a reputation similar to Rhystic Study, that like most people don't play it unless they're playing in like the slightly higher powered pods or whatever, because those are usually the decks that are equipped to deal with it.
Yeah.
But it's also, I mean, I hate the phrase doesn't do anything when it enters, but like, you know, there is a chance you pay 4 mana and someone just like wear and tears it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows? But all right, cool. Well, Trentyn, thank you so much for being a part of this. I really enjoyed this deck build together, so that was fun. So thanks a lot for being here, man.
Yeah, no, of course, anytime. Thanks for shuffling me around. I really appreciate it. This was a blast.
It was a no-brainer. I definitely wanted to have you on here, but I wanted you at your best. I didn't want to panic build, you know.
Yeah,
like, oh god.
You didn't want to half-ass Trentyn, that's for sure.
Exactly. But okay, cool. So before we leave, one more time, if you want to let everyone know who you are and where they can find you, I want to put Trentyn. Do you want me to put your like Twitter handle? Like, do you have a link tree or anything?
Yeah, I've got a link tree in my bio.
I'll put the link tree down in the description, so you can make sure to go follow Trentyn and all the socials and all that stuff. But one more time, let everyone know who you are, what you do.
Yeah, I'm Trentyn. I go by Trentyn907 on Twitter. I talk mostly about EDH, CEDH, my love for Gigantosaurus, and my hatred for Dockside. You know, so if you are also a Dockside hater, come hang out. We can hate the little goblin together.
And you two will be the only ones out there. No, there's a lot of people who don't like Dockside. But anyway, thanks a lot. We're gonna get out of here. Trentyn, it was a pleasure. We'll see you guys in the next one. I'm gonna pass it back to myself to do the good, do a magic stuff. Bye.
Do the magic.
Do the magic. All right, that's it. That's the whole thing. I wonder if you know that I do these literally, like I film the intro and then immediately film this. You ever wonder that? If you made it to this point in the episode, it means you're a true believer. So you're cool with me just kind of rambling. Anyway, if this video helped you at all, please consider subscribing, hitting that like button, leave us a comment. It really means a lot. So thank you so much for hanging out and going through this process with us. Once again, I do have a Patreon if you want to go check that out. I'll leave a link in the description. $1 tier gets you a thank you in every single video, which you'll see right after this. And the $5 tier, whenever I do stickers or special giveaways, sleeves, whatever it is, those $5 tier patrons are the ones who get those things first. And then everybody else gets a chance to get those, if that's even the case. There's a run of that TCG Guy sleeves that look like this. There it is, out there, that you can only get for being a patron on that $5 tier. So thank you so much for all those people who do that. I appreciate you guys. Anyway, we're gonna get out of here. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Once again, check out the Patreon. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and we'll catch you in the next one of these. Have a good night.